All right, folks. Trump's secret sauce. That's the subject of the riff. So, high drama today. President Trump called off the Iranian bombing and announced that a deal with Iran is imminent from his Truth Social posting. And I'll just quote it again. Discussions and final points have been, in both concept and great detail, approved by all parties involved. This is as Jennifer Griffin reported. That's the U.S., Israel, Iran, all the other Gulf states involved in the war. Apparently, they are part of it. Now, here the president, just a few moments ago, is what he said. Take a listen, please.
The Strait will officially open as soon as we sign, which could be soon, very soon, maybe over the weekend, in Europe.
All right. Now, as our Jerry Willis reported, stock markets have soared, oil prices fell. Mr. Trump also noted on his Truth Social, and I'll quote, "The naval blockade will remain in full force and effect until this transaction is finalized," end quote. My great hope is that no money is given to Iran for a long time until they prove that their behavior is changing. And frankly, while I applaud President Trump's diplomatic endeavors, such as negotiating with bombs, I have nothing but skepticism about Iran following through on their promises. I mean, just yesterday, the UN nuclear watchdog blasted Iran for failing to allow inspection and verification of their weapons and their weapons-grade uranium. That's an old story. They always do this. And President Trump, in whatever the deal, is surely going to want complete denuclearization, some kind of end to their enriched uranium, as well as reopening the Strait toll-free, and probably an end to Iran's state sponsorship of terrorism in Israel and throughout the Middle East. But as President Reagan always said, trust but verify. And as both Reagan and Trump believe, peace through strength. Meanwhile, one of the really neat developing stories, I love this, regardless of the deal, is Mr. Trump's secret supply of oil tankers going through, presumably, the Oman Channel of the Hormuz Strait. As he said yesterday, and has corroborated by a number of oil watchdogs, some 200 ships transited the Strait for a total of about 100 million barrels of oil over the past month. That comes to about 3 million barrels per day. Now, recall, world oil supply and demand intersect at about 100 million barrels per day. And the prior closing of the Strait took about 20%, or 20 million barrels per day, off the market. So the supply shortages drove oil prices way up. But this story is surreptitiously changing. Not so surreptitious now. Here's President Trump riffing about it today. You got to love it. Listen.
But over the last month, we've been taking out ships, big ships, quietly at night. You guys didn't know that. Pretty cool, right? As a captain. He knows about more about ships than I do, but it's pretty cool. They turned off the lights. We bombed their radar and everything, so they couldn't see what was going on. And we took out some nights 25 ships, some nights 15. Last 4 or 5 nights we did 25, 22, 21, 26, 18, and 14. Who else would remember those numbers? Nobody. And but a lot of ships, a lot of oil is out. That's why.
I think it's a great story. Now, administration sources telling me roughly a dozen ships per night are being moved through the Strait. All right, so I'm doing some back-of-the-envelope arithmetic. If you do a dozen a night, that's 360 a month. If you use the same ratio of the first month's secret passage, okay, remember, 200 ships, 100 million barrels of oil. Use that ratio with the new month, you'll get us about 180 million additional barrels of oil, which would come to roughly 6 million a day. All right, big stuff, really big stuff. Remember, we're 20 million short because of the closing of the Strait. So now, last month's 3 million, maybe this coming month 6 million. That's 9 million additional barrels per day to reduce the 20 million barrel shortfall. These extra oil supplies are bringing oil prices down in the marketplace and will continue on a steady basis if it keeps up. Gasoline prices will be following in tow. It's a silver lining for the temporary inflation bulge, and it's going to make stocks stronger and interest rates probably softer. Trump's secret sauce. Think of it. And that's the riff.